liberty now has a country. That country is ours. And in a very real way, so is his story. This commemoration is more than a history lesson. It is a reminder of what binds us as across the centuries, the belief that courage and conviction can move us forward. Before we continue, I would like to take a moment to recognize and thank some of the individuals who carried that same spirit of service today, our elected officials, community leaders, and honored guests who join us in this celebration. From U.S. Senator John Fetterman's office, Mitchell Henderson is with us. Just wait. From Guy Reschenthaler's office, Samantha Quinn. Representing the 32nd Senatorial District of Pennsylvania, Senator Pat Stefano. 51st District Representative Charity Grimm-Krupa. 52nd District Representative Ryan Warner. Fayette County Commissioner Chairman Scott Dunn. Fayette County Commissioner Vice Chairman Vince Vicides. Distinguished guest, Nancy Coombs. She is a descendant of Uniontown founder Jacob Beeson and has affiliation with the Rochambeau chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution in France. We also have with us today, very fortunate to introduce, the Marquis de Lafayette, Uniontown Mayor Ephraim Douglas, and our own Albert Gallatin. I would also like to take just a moment to recognize the Fayette County Historical Society, the Fayette County 250th Committee. Particularly, I would like to say thank you to the Fayette County Commissioner's Office Chiefs of Staff, Mary Over and Tammy Nedrow, who have been just incredible in helping us pull today together. I want to thank you all for being here with us, for showing up today, for remembering, and for continuing the work of building a stronger and more united Fayette County. Welcome to this moment of shared pride, reflection, and possibility.
Hello, everyone. Our pioneers, after fighting valiantly in the war for our independence, began their long and arduous journeys to their new homes in Pennsylvania. They traveled over the road forged by General Braddock through dense forests with their babes in their arms, where panthers still roamed. They hoped to find a safe and welcoming place to raise their families. They had come from lands where they were no longer welcome: Ireland, Scotland, England, and Germany. They came to this country as indentured servants who had to work hard to pay off their debts. The Revolutionary War afforded them the opportunity to serve their adopted country and then to stake their tomahawk claims. When they crested Laurel Hill, they would have seen nestled in the valley the town the Beeson brothers, Jacob and Henry, had founded on July 4th, 1776. Beeson's town soon became Uniontown.
You will know our Burgess, General Ephraim Douglas, who is here with us today. He served our country in the Continental Army. This Revolutionary War soldier was taken prisoner and was held in a British ship for over a year. Many died in those horrid circumstances. And thank you, General, particularly for seizing the property of Dr. Anthony Yeldell, a traitor to this country who had claimed land in Manalapan Township. We did not want this Revolutionary War doctor convicted of high crimes and treason along with Benedict Arnold to spoil our lands. Thank you again, Burgess.
Marquis de Lafayette. Many of our Revolutionary War soldiers or their families are with us today. We see the Honorable Andrew Stewart, named after his mother's father, Sergeant Andrew Stewart Oliphant. Let us remember that he fought alongside you at Brandywine and at Valley Forge. Next, we are joined by Adolphus Eberhardt, who carried you to safety after you were wounded at Brandywine. It was your friend, the Honorable Albert Gallatin, who hired him as a glassblower. And we have Benjamin Campbell here with us, who served in the war while living in New Jersey. His sons, Benjamin and John, came to see you in Philadelphia to invite you to visit us as you toured our country. We thank you for graciously receiving them. And our maiden, Josephine Stewart. She's here representing her ancestor, Colonel John Hardin, who served in both Lord Dunbar's War and in the Revolutionary War. And lastly, Monsieur, it must be remembered that your friend, General George Washington, fought his first campaign on the crest of the mountain behind you. As you too painfully know, the Battle of Fort Necessity ushered in the 7 Years' War, where your dear father died at the hands of the British. This inspired you to dedicate your life, your fortune, your liberty to the call for humanitarian justice for all men, including slaves, to be free. You will be pleased to know one of our leaders, the Honorable John Smiley, who died in 1812, championed these same rights and was a fierce abolitionist. It was a just cause. We couldn't be more pleased and proud to have adopted your name in 1783. May the County of Fayette always live in accordance with your ideals.
And you, dear Sir Albert Gallatin, you came to our county when you were just a young man. You had a vision to create a community where immigrants could work and go to school. You supported the farmers in the Whiskey Rebellion, and you were not afraid to erect a liberty pole in your home in Friendship Hill. It was in 1784 that you met with General George Washington, and where you suggested that a road, which would follow a trail forged by Chief Nemacolin and Thomas Cresap, would best serve the many Revolutionary War soldiers who had settled here. It would be you, Mr. Gallatin, who would employ the mechanism to fund this artery when Secretary of the Treasury under President Thomas Jefferson. It was this action that helped forge and expand our nation. We must never forget the many times you traveled overseas as a diplomat, particularly to Ghent, Belgium, where in 1814 you played a crucial role in negotiating the treaty which ended the War of 1812. Your dear friend, whom you are about to introduce, was inspired by the ideals of the American Revolution. And it must be said, kind sir, that you were inspired as well. Where would our country be today without the two of you? We are forever in your debt.
I am now pleased to introduce our next speaker, who has traveled a great distance to be with us today. Nancy Combs is an author and a diplomat to France. She and her husband live in Toronto. Nancy is a direct descendant of one of our founding fathers, Jacob Beeson. Although she's never been to Uniontown until right now, This is somewhat of a homecoming for her. Nancy has a special letter to read to us, and then she will recite a poem her ancestor, Richard Beeson, wrote and delivered to Lafayette 200 years ago. And now, a daughter of Uniontown, Nancy Combs.
Bonjour, and thank you for that warm welcome, Chris and Joe. It really is a tremendously magnificent occasion. But I'm coming to you here today as Nancy Ann Beeson, here in 1825, the daughter of Jacob Beeson, one of the founders of Uniontown. And to start off, I'll say a few words in French to welcome our special guest of honor and make him perhaps feel at home. So if you'd allow me. Chers amis, nous sommes réunis aujourd'hui pour accueillir notre illustre invité, le général de Lafayette. Bienvenue. Ici, à Uniontown, comme son nom l'indique, nous accordons une grande importance à l'unité. Le comté de Fayette est honoré de porter votre nom prestigieux, symbole de courage et de liberté dans l'esprit de Jeanne d'Arc. Sur cette terre sacrée que nous partageons avec nos voisins et nos amis indigènes qui, comme nous, chérissent les idéaux éclairés d'égalité et de démocratie. Nous sommes tous réunis aujourd'hui pour vous remercier, vous saluer, cher général. To translate, dear friends, we come together today to receive our glorious guest, Général de Lafayette. Welcome. Here in Uniontown, as befits its name, we value unity. Fayette County is honored to bear your esteemed name, indeed a symbol of courage and liberty in the spirit of Joan of Arc. On this sacred land that we share with our neighbors and Indigenous friends who, like us, value Enlightenment ideals of equality and democracy, we all unite today to thank you and hail you, dear General. And now, as Chris mentioned, I'm honored as a member of the Beeson family to recite the words written for this very occasion in 1825 by Richard Beeson. Although he can't be here, I present as a memento the quill pen on which Richard used to write these special words. So, welcome, Général de Lafayette. The sons of Columbia all welcome thy landing, brave champion of freedom. Thy welcome resounds from the eastern Atlantic north and southward expanding. To where the Pacific our continent bounds, the trumpet of fame re-echoes thy name, and thy deeds patriotic, our warriors in flame. Our Navy rejoices to see the first founder of that noble fabric she stands to defend. Our youth independent with glorious wonder, behold their reliever, their country's friend. With wonder, behold the hero of old, his name shall descend in letters of gold. Welcome, thrice welcome, thou favored of heaven. The sons of Columbia, all welcome thee here. The flower of thy youth was by providence given, to extirpate tyrants and freedom to rear. The trumpet of fame re-echoed thy name, and thy deeds patriotic, our warriors in flame. May heaven direct the west of the mountains, the brave one who fought our country to free. We'll welcome him here. He shall drink of the fountain that flows from the root of the sacred tree, the tree of the brave, whose proud branches wave, or the tomb of our heroes who died but to save. Merci beaucoup, Général de Lafayette.
Composed by Philip Fyle in 1790 for the first inauguration of George Washington and originally entitled The President's March, this song was used as the unofficial national anthem for the United States throughout the 19th century until after World War I, when the Star-Spangled Banner replaced it in 1931. It is now the Vice President's official personal anthem. Columbia is the name for the national personification of the United States, which originated during the 18th century. And now, hail Columbia. It was with great pride that John Philip Sousa Band represented the United States at the Paris World Exposition of 1900. On July 2nd that year, a statue of George Washington was unveiled, and on July 4th, a statue of the Marquis de Lafayette on horseback, offering his sword to the American cause in the Revolutionary War, was draped in a huge American flag, was also dedicated. At this unveiling, the Sousa Band gave the first performance of the march composed specifically for that occasion. And now we present Sousa's Hail to the Spirit of Liberty.
With humility and a deep sense of duty, I stand before you on this solemn and glorious occasion to welcome the hero of two worlds, the nation's guest, the Marquis de Lafayette. Providence has smiled upon your labors. Our state is secure. Our fields are bountiful, and our liberties are preserved. We give thanks to Almighty God for the manifold blessings we enjoy. The citizens of this town, founded on the precise day of our independence, July 4th, 1776, are overjoyed to stand in your presence, to enjoy your company, and to thank you for all that you did for this country. We are delighted to see your son, George Washington Lafayette, and your secretary, Colonel A. Lavoisier. Welcome. We are pleased to have honored you by naming our county in 1783 Fayette. And we are pleased to have read your response to the governor of Pennsylvania, in which you humbly accepted this honor. Today, our Revolutionary War soldiers, some of whom served with you at the Battle of Brandywine, are here to see their brother, their hero. We are also honored to welcome your dear friend, the Honorable Albert Gallatin, who will address you shortly. With us are Governor Jeremiah Morrow of Ohio, representatives from Somerset and Washington counties, the Honorable Andrew Stewart, Judge Thomas B. Baird, General Markle of Westmoreland County, and General Henry W. Beeson and his field officers. In the crowd, you may see two brothers who visited you in Philadelphia, John and Benjamin Campbell. They were presented by John Bouvier, Esquire, who once called Uniontown his home. The kind ladies of Uniontown have adorned our city with flowers, and 24 maidens representing the states of our nation are dressed in white. We are graced by your presence. We pledge to honor you in perpetuity. We pledge to make certain that our county never forgets all that you have sacrificed. We know your journey has been long, arduous, and even dangerous, especially when your steamboat sank in the Ohio. How relieved we all were to find you unscathed. May you enjoy the company of us today and your friend Albert Gallatin tomorrow. We will long remember the time you devoted to us. We relished every moment, and I, Ephraim Douglas, the mayor of Uniontown, and a fellow soldier in our fight for independence, may now gladly depart this world, having met you.
General Lafayette, the citizens of this county wish to express their joy at seeing you. Among them and their feelings of love and gratitude towards you, these sentiments you have already heard in 1,000 places and from 1,000 voices. And what language is so eloquent that those multitudes gathered from every quarter to meet you, as those acclamations would greet you whenever you appear, accept these demonstrations as the sincere and spontaneous infusion of a free people, impressed with respect for you, your character, and who entertain the most grateful sense of your valor. Of these services, it is hardly necessary to speak. They are engraved in the heart of every American. Who among them has forgotten what General Lafayette, in the prime of youth, relinquished for the sake of America? All the advantages of birth and rank, the allurements and splendor of a brilliant court. What was far more precious to him? The endurance of domestic happiness and congenial love. Who does not remember that he came to aid America of the most critical period of her struggle for independence, that he fought and bled for her, that he acquired the friendship and confidence of Washington, that he prepared and shared in the divisive triumph at Yorktown. His service were not confined to the field. While he bore the fatigues and braved the dangers of every campaign, almost every winter he crossed the ocean to stimulate and encourage our friends, to hasten and obtain new succor from our illustrious and unfortunate ally. All these services he rendered with the most perfect disinterestedness, impairing his private fortune, instead receiving compensation from the United States. The name which this country bears, this county bears, an early evidence of public gratitude. That name, while it perpetually reminds us of our virtues, your service has also given us a most personal interest in all your fortunes. Let this be our apology for detaining you, even at the risk of wounding your modesty, a few minutes longer than is usual on an occasion like this. For having attempted to save the country, you were persecuted, proscribed, and despoiled of the inheritance of your fathers. As if you had an enemy of this country, you did not expect to receive abroad the reward of your services in the cause of liberty in France, but in the foreign land, the proscribed patriot found no asylum but a dungeon. Immured for years, fetters might bind your limbs, but your mind remained unconquered, unbroken, and free. I will not dwell on the deplorable scenes that ensued. Liberty fled from a land polluted by crimes committed in her sacred name, for if the first blessing must be conquered by courage, virtue, and wisdom, alone can preserve it. When after a lapse of years you were restored to France, you found her in the hand of that extraordinary man who had been destined to rule, for a while, her destinies and those of Europe. A new spirit pervades and animates the whole civilized world. It was penetrated every class of society, teaching every man, even the obscure and bitterly oppressed, to feel and assert his rights, making new converts every day, even among the privileged ranks, seated on the very footsteps of throne. And now in the moral world, people, noble statesmen, monarchs, all are carried away by this irresistible stream of public opinion and growing knowledge. Can it then be a subject of astonishment that you would have been received with unequaled enthusiasm by free and enlightened people? We partake the national feeling of its fullest extent. We hail you as one of the surviving heroes of our revolution, as the energetic defender of the cause of man, as a rare model of the most perfect consistency of character. Happy to have been on this occasion the organ of my fellow citizens. They may judge of my feelings when in him I now address. I also meet my sincere, long-tired bosom friend, Lafayette.
To my dear friend, Albert Gallatin, to the Honorable Burgess Ephraim Douglas, who so warmly greeted me, to the special guests from all over Fayette County, to Governor Morrow of Ohio, and to guests from neighboring counties, to the brothers who served with me in the War for America's independence, and to all the ladies who so beautifully dressed your historic city. I say a heartfelt thank you for your many kindnesses. Whatever has been my constant faith in the power of freedom and my fond anticipation as an American patriot, I could not, at the time Pennsylvania designed to call this part of the state after my name, flatter myself to be blessed with the sight of so high the prosperity and improvement in every respect, which I now have the delight to witness. This delight, my dear sir, cannot but be greatly enhanced by the affectionate welcome I receive in this county and in Uniontown, and by the particular felicity I enjoy in hearing that welcome expressed in the name of the people, an old and intimate friend. I will not further dwell on your very kind and flattering reference to the past events in both hemispheres, so far as they respect me, other than to confess myself happy and gratified in the highest degree by those testimonies of approbation from you, sir, whose esteem and affection I so greatly value. But in your eloquent speech, I find still higher and more gratifying motives for my profound gratitude. In the name of the companions of my sentiments and my conduct through vicissitudes of the French Revolution, I thank you for the honorable evidence given in our favor by so enlightened and respectable an observer, and for the justice you have done to the benefits acquired by the people of France and to the progress toward European emancipation, which, in spite of latter and most deplorable circumstances, have remained the result of the first impulse and the first year of that extensive revolution. And who, sir, in that multitude of American hearers thronged around us, has not felt themselves elevated, obliged, and delighted at your very just and patriotic observations on the unexampled public prosperity and private happiness, the superior and dignified degree of political civilization, the national and gloriously experienced strength, the sound and virtuous feelings, and the truly Republican spirit in support of institutions founded on the rights of man, by which the happy United States are held up as an object of admiration, as a noble, evident, practical model to the rest of the world. While I most cordially join in your eager and consistent wishes for the extension of those blessings to other nations, in mutual congratulation for the Republican enfranchisement of the far greater part of the American hemispheres, I could not hear you mention classic and heroic Greece without remembering how early and with what zealous concern we had made it an object of our confidential conversations. But had I not better leave this numerous audience to the deep and lively impressions you have made upon them, and content myself with presenting to the people of this county and town, and to you, my dear friend, the ablest and most acceptable organ of my gratitude, my warm and devoted acknowledgments. Thank you.
Can we have another round of applause for our wonderful speakers? Before we dive into Guns and Ships from Hamilton, let me take a moment to reflect on what this high-energy modern anthem truly represents. While the lyrics celebrate the brilliance and bravery of the Marquis de Lafayette during the Revolutionary War, the spirit of the song is just as much about today as it is about history. It's a reminder that the bold ideas, fearless leadership, and the power of collaboration still shapes our world. This performance isn't just a tribute to the past. It is a recognition of the people in our own community who have continued to step up, take a risk, fight for progress. Ladies and gentlemen, we present Guns and Ships.
How does a ragtag volunteer army in need of a shower somehow defeat a global superpower? How do we emerge victorious from the quagmire, leave the battle shield waving Betsy Raga's flag higher? Yo, turns out we have a secret weapon, an immigrant you know and love who's unafraid to step in. He's constantly confusing, confounding the British henchmen. Everyone give it up for America's favorite fighting Frenchman! I'm taking this field from Lafayette. I'm taking this field from I'm constantly engaging, escaping them, enraging them. I come back to more funds, I come back with more guns and ships, and so the balance shifts. We can end this war in Yorktown, cut them off at sea, but for this to succeed, there's one man that we need. Sir, he knows what to do in a trench and fluid and chewing the flinch, I mean. So you're gonna have to use him eventually. What's he gonna do in the bench, I mean? No one has resilience or matches my practical, tactical brilliance. You wanna fight for your land back? Get your right hand man back. I mean, you gotta get your right hand man back. I mean, you gotta put some thought into the letter before you get to the letter. Put your right hand man back. Alexander Hamilton, troops are waiting in the field for you. If you join us right now, together we can turn the tide. Oh, Alexander Hamilton, I have soldiers that will yield for you. If we manage to get this right, they'll surrender by early light. The world will never be the same. Alexander. Thank you.
I'm going to read from a scroll. Thank you, Sheriff.
Commissioners, the proclamation for today's commemoration.
All right, thank you. Whereas Fayette County holds a unique place in the story of America, named in the honor of the esteemed Major General Marquis de Lafayette, the French hero of the American Revolution, whose bravery, leadership, and unwavering commitment to liberty strengthened our fight for independence. 2025 marks the 200th anniversary of the General Lafayette's grand tour of the United States, during which he was welcomed with great admiration and gratitude by the citizens of Fayette County and from citizens all across this nation. And whereas in the year 2026 marks the 250th anniversary of the founding of the United States of America, a historic milestone in our nation's journey of freedom, democracy, and unity. As we approach this momentous occasion, it is our duty and privilege to reflect on the nation's rich history and honor those who have shaped our shared heritage and celebrate the enduring spirit of the American people.
Whereas it is fitting that we, the people of Fayette County, join in the national efforts to commemorate both the America 250 and Lafayette's 200th, paying tribute to the past while planning for the future that upholds the values of freedom, justice, unity. And we recognize the importance of engaging our residents, community organizations, educators, historians, local leaders in planning meaningful events and narrative that will educate, inspire, and bring together people of all ages. Now therefore be it resolved that we, the Commissioners of Fayette County, Pennsylvania, here do by proclaim the commemoration of Lafayette's 200th and the official kickoff of the planning of our American 250 celebration in Fayette County.
If you were only so lucky, we're still going. We encourage all citizens to take part in this historic initiative to reflect on the legacy of our nation's founding and to honor the contributions of Fayette County and all those who have fought for freedom. Together, let us ensure that these commemorations leave a lasting impact on future generations and strengthen the bonds of our great community. In witness whereof, we hereunto set our hands and cause the seal of Fayette County to be affixed this 30th day of May, 2025. Thank you. Present that to Lafayette.
Good afternoon. Bonjour. Bienvenue. I'm State Senator Pat Stefano, representing Fayette, Somerset, and Bedford counties, but here as a resident of Fayette, it's an honor to appreciate not only our beauty being in part of the Laurel Highlands, but one of our greatest assets, which is our rich history. Our rich history that takes us back to the formation of our country. So it's my honor today to present this citation, not only to celebrate Marquis de Lafayette's tour of 200 years ago, but also celebrate 250 years of the formation of our country. So let us all remember how important this area meant and that our namesake we're celebrating today. So with that, I say congratulations to Fayette County and thank you to the Marquis. And I also want to say, Marquis, one of my favorite French phrases I use in my Senate colleagues all the time, fermez les bouches, shut your mouth. So with that, congratulations.
Good afternoon. I'm Representative Ryan Warner. It's an honor to be here today with Representative Krupa to present a citation. Before we do that, I do have some few short words. And I just want to say that this county has so many great assets. And the history and background of the county is one of the greatest things that we have. And the importance in the founding and sculpture of our country. Lafayette was just 19. I think that's something to keep in mind. He was 19 years old when he left the comfort of nobility in France to fight alongside American patriots. He believed deeply in liberty, and he didn't just talk about it, he acted. He crossed an ocean to stand beside General George Washington, who would become not only his commander, but his lifelong friend, mentor, and as he himself has described, a father figure. Their bond, one of trust and sacrifice and shared vision, helped shape the nation we now call home. Lafayette fought at Brandywine, endured the winter at Valley Forge, and played a vital role in Yorktown. He stood shoulder to shoulder with Washington at some of our most trying hours. And when he returned to America in 1824, the people of this young nation welcomed him with open arms, none more proudly than right here in Fayette County. Today we remember more than just a man. We honor a legacy of courage, unity, and enduring friendship. Let us recommit ourselves to those same principles and in our time and ensure that liberty remains the foundation of our future. I'll leave you with this. I always look back at human history, and in the thousands and thousands of years in the existence of mankind, our nation has only existed for less than 250 of those years. And it's been 200 years since the Marquis de Lafayette's visit here. And yet in that short time frame, this country has brought more liberty, more freedom, more prosperity, and has done more for the human condition than that of every nation combined in the history of the world. And a lot of that has to do with where we're at right now in Fayette County. I thank you. I say God bless Fayette County and the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and viva la liberty. Thank you.
So before I read the citation that's being presented on behalf of both the 51st and the 52nd House districts, I do want to take a moment and thank everybody that was involved, whether in presentation or the planning or just attending here today. Far too often, the daily grind gets in the way of participating in events like this or recognizing the significance. And so my undergraduate degree is in history. The Revolutionary era is my absolute favorite time period. And what an exciting time that must have been to live in. By the grace of God, most of us were born in this nation. I'm assuming, I don't want to assume, but by the grace of God, our founding fathers and our founding mothers recognized that we had God-given rights, and it was important that the government, the new government, our government, not infringe upon those rights. And we owe it to those founding mothers and fathers and our heroes and our friends like Marquis de Lafayette to celebrate their efforts. In Fayette County, we come from a long line of independence and grit, and it's imperative to our future and our future generations that we remember that. Now, with respect to the citation, whereas the House of Representatives of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania takes great pride in honoring the people, history, and enduring legacy of Fayette County, and whereas the County of Fayette is being recognized on the momentous occasion of the bicentennial anniversary of the farewell tour of the Marquis de Lafayette, whose visit in 1825 remains a cherished chapter in the county's rich historical narrative. And whereas the Marquis de Lafayette, a young French nobleman inspired by the ideals of liberty and self-governance, sailed across the Atlantic at his own expense to join the American struggle for independence. He fought valiantly alongside American troops during the American Revolutionary War, earning the respect and deep friendship of the General George Washington, who appointed him general in the Continental Army. His leadership and courage played a vital role in several key victories that ultimately secured America's freedom. Now, therefore, the 51st and 52nd legislative districts of the House of Representatives of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania proudly commends the County of Fayette on this historic anniversary and extends its heartfelt appreciation for the county's continued commitment to preserving the spirit of American liberty and heritage, and directs that a copy of this citation, sponsored by Representative Charity Grim-Krupa and Ryan Warner, be transmitted on this day to the County of Fayette. Thank you.
Thank you, Senators and Representatives. My name is Samantha. I'm here on behalf of Congressman Guy Reschenthaler and his office. I would like to take this moment to honor Fayette County with the Certificate of Special Congressional Recognition for the 200th anniversary of the Marquis de Lafayette farewell tour. On this anniversary of his arrival in the county that bears the honor of his name, we recognize the contributions of the Marquis de Lafayette to the nation for whom he fought to secure the blessings of liberty. I am going to keep it brief. I'm not very good at public speaking. It is truly an honor as a Uniontown native, born and raised here for the better part of my life, to be able to present this to the county on behalf of Congress as a whole. That's it. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Mitchell Henderson, and I'm here on behalf of United States Senator John Fetterman, and I have a Gold Seal proclamation from the United States Senate. Whereas, in 1777, the Marquis de Lafayette sailed to the America's shores to defend the American Revolution, bravely fighting alongside the Continental Army, and whereas, years after the victorious conclusion of the war, Lafayette returned to America for a final visit in honor of his contributions to the United States. Whereas one of Lafayette's special stops during his farewell tour was Brownsville, Pennsylvania, in Fayette County, where celebrations were held to show appreciation for his sacrifices on behalf of the American people. And whereas in 1783, Fayette County was named in honor of Lafayette as a testament to his kindness, bravery, and dedication to liberty. And whereas Fayette County celebrates the 200th anniversary of Lafayette's visit in 2025, honoring his fight for freedom for people all over the world. And now, therefore, in presenting this proclamation to Fayette County, Pennsylvania, I, John Fetterman, United States Senator, on behalf of the people of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, proudly recognize the 200th anniversary of Lafayette's farewell tour and visit to Fayette County, Pennsylvania. Thank you.
Russian-born motion picture, Broadway musical, and popular song composer Irving Berlin wrote this next selection in 1918, but filed it away for 20 years, waiting until the right situation came along for it to be used. In 1938, singer Kate Smith debuted this patriotic ballad in her show for the 20th anniversary of Armistice Day, which later became Veterans Day. The song quickly became our country's unofficial national anthem. When cued, please join me in singing God Bless America. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the ocean white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Please join me. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet Julia Ward Howe wrote the lyrics of this popular American patriotic song in 1861. William Steffi put the words to music in 1856. John Higgins created this outstanding band arrangement in 1986, which has become a staple for concert bands around the country. And now, the Battle Hymn of the Republic.
Wow. What an incredible day in history. What a perfect day, not only to honor our history, but also to make some of our own. Today, as we conclude this commemoration of the Marquis, we will officially kick off a 13-month celebration of America's 250th anniversary. A celebration that for us will stretch from this moment all the way to July 4th, 2026. This celebration is more than just a series of events, it's actually an invitation. It's an invitation to every borough, every township, every classroom, every neighborhood in Fayette County to come together and celebrate the story of us. There will be parades and programs, concerts and cleanups, big ones and small ones, but all of them rooted in a spirit of community, pride, and possibility. I'm thrilled to share two special projects launching today that truly reflect what this celebration is about. First, come on, Fiona. I'd like you all to meet Fiona Fayette. Fiona is the star of a brand new children's storybook created right here in our county, designed to bring our rich history to life for the next generation. Alongside the book, we're introducing a Flat Fiona project, a fun countywide activity where kids, and grown-ups too, can take Fiona on adventures through our towns, parks, and landmarks, helping all of us rediscover the places and stories that make Fayette County special. Second, we're proud to announce today the 250 Hours of Service Recognition Program. This is a way to shine a spotlight on the everyday heroes among us, those who give their time, their talents, and their heart to serve our communities. Whether it's a coach, a volunteer firefighter, a church leader, just someone who shows up when others need a hand, this celebration, it's for you. And there's so much more in the works. From an all-American movie series here at the State Theater to special town cleanups and community challenges. And here's the best part, there's room for everyone. This isn't a celebration for just a few, it's for all of us. Whether you're planning a school activity, organizing a block party, or simply showing up to cheer at a local parade, you will be part of something bigger. America's 250th is a once-in-a-generation opportunity to reflect on where we've been, to honor who we are, and to imagine where we're going. And I can't think of a better place to do that than right here in Fayette County. So, Vive la Amérique. Help me, Chris. Long live America. Let's make it unforgettable. Thank you all for attending today. Let the celebration begin.